Twitter is now responding to reports that they suspended the account of the president's oldest son, Donald Trump Jr. The social media company saying, quote, "This account has not been permanently suspended. Per the screenshot, the tweet requires deletion because it violates our rules, sharing misinformation on COVID-19. And the account will have limited functionality for 12 hours. Last night, the first son posted the same controversial video shared by his father that promoted hydroxychloroquine and said people don't need to wear masks.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia is temporarily banned from Twitter. The company says it's freezing her account for 12 hours Sunday for multiple violations put in place after the violence on Capitol Hill. Twitter accuses her of going against its civic integrity policy by spreading election misinformation. Greene blasted the tech company, saying her views aren't inciting violence, they're just conservative.
Tonight, a deafening silence from the president's Twitter account in his waning days as commander-in-chief. Twitter, run by CEO Jack Dorsey, saying after close review of the president's recent tweets, it banned him due to the risk of further incitement of violence. Twitter specifically warning, quote, plans for future armed protests have already begun proliferating on and off Twitter, including a proposed secondary attack on the U.S. Capitol and state Capitol buildings on January 17th. After the ban, the president tried to tweet from other campaign and staff accounts, triggering a game of whack-a-mole, with Twitter quickly taking down his posts. Many platforms have banned or restricted the president's accounts, including Facebook and Instagram, where he's blocked indefinitely and for at least the next 2 weeks.
It's a sad day when big tech has more power than big government, that they can censor the president of the United States.
Because Twitter is a private company, experts say the removal of the president for violating their rules is not a violation of the First Amendment.
Twitter is absolutely allowed to silence the president, as is any other social media platform that can make their own rules. Whether it's silencing him, of course it's not. He could call a press conference.
The ban, which many argue came too late, was also instigated in part by Twitter staffers pressuring executives to delete the president's account. One employee telling NBC News, "A lot of us are so happy and so proud to work for a company that did the right thing."
How big of a difference does all of this make to stopping or at least reducing the disinformation pipeline, all of the conspiracy theories and false information that's out there?
It doesn't really do much to take away that pipeline. What it does do is take away, a voice, at least on these platforms, to one of the most important voices of disinformation, which was the president.
And Joe joins us now. Joe, is there another social media app the president could jump to?
Yes, some of President Trump's allies say they are ditching Twitter and they're heading to smaller social networks like Parler, which is popular with right-wing extremists. But Google already making that a lot harder, suspending Parler from their app store, one of the largest in the world, until they address, quote, ongoing and urgent public safety threats. Jose?
Social media is going to play a huge role in the famine of the word. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Kal Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh, Bahashim, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, the prophets of the nation of Israel, the leaders of the nation of Israel who teach sound doctrine, who still rule well, and peace and blessings and safety to the elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the planet Earth, and to the hopeful elect. Shalom. Social media is going to play a huge role in this famine of the word, okay? And like the brothers have been bringing out, many brothers have already done videos on this topic, but the spirit is on me now to give my 2 cents. They have to use Trump as an example because he is at the highest level of office, supposedly, within this country. So if they can silence him, if they can put a muzzle on him, then they can certainly put a muzzle on the Hebrew Israelite movement. Okay, because what do they say? They say he's inciting violence. They say he's inciting insurrection. What does the Bible consist of? The Bible consists of violence. The Bible consists of prophecies of insurrection. And you see on the screen here, it's from CNN. This is 1 year ago. It says Kamala Harris says Trump's Twitter account should be suspended. So just to show you, just to go into the gradualism of the devil, that this plan has been in motion for a while. Okay, this is not something that happened overnight, but that gradually have been trying to put a muzzle on so-called free speech. Let's go to that word, gradualism. It says the policy, which policy goes into the laws, the policy of approaching a desired end by gradual stages. Right. So the first stage of the famine of the word has to be to silence normal people, silence government officials, silence people of so-called importance in this life. Okay, and then they can move to the stage of silencing the men, the prophets, the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American men who are preaching the Bible. Then they can silence them. It says, the second definition, the evolution of new species. That's not what we want. So the policy of approaching a desired end by gradual stages. That's what gradualism. That's what gradualism means. Now, this is nothing new because the Edomites have always despised the Bible. Okay, and they've always sought to silence the good book, as they say. You know, this is the book of First Maccabees, so this is just nothing new. They're gonna try to perform what they did in the past. They're gonna try to perform it again because they are their forefathers. You are your forefathers. You reincarnation, so-called reincarnation, regeneration. That's biblical. That's a biblical fact. That's something that is very real. This is not our first time living. This is not our first existence. We have been on this planet Earth many, many, many times before. We have died and been buried on this planet Earth many, many, many times before, and that's why we do not fear death. Okay? This is First Maccabees 1:49, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances, and that's what this kingdom is set up. This is an antichrist system that is set up to make us forget the laws of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And like I said, that those laws, those policies are going to intensify here in these last days. Okay? They're going to change times and laws to the point where we don't have the opportunity to speak what is righteous. Oh, it says it on First Maccabees. So let me go here real quick. It says in Second Maccabees 6 that we couldn't even profess and speak that we were a Jew. It says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. What does the word profess mean? Remember, this topic is social media will play a huge role in the famine of the word, in the war against free speech, so to speak. It says to receive formally into a religious community following a novitiate, so I can't pronounce that word, by acceptance of the required vows, to declare or admit openly or freely, to declare in words or appearance only. See, so we're not going to be able to speak. We're not going to be able to speak that we're Israelites. Soon come. Just like it happened back in the day, back in here in the time of the Maccabees. We're not going to be able to openly and freely declare that we are Jews. It says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So we're not going to be able to say that we're the Israelites. You know, we're going to be silenced, just like they silenced Donald Trump. And that is the prophecy of Amos 8:11, speaking about the famine of the word. You know, that's why the Lord said to seek him while he may be found. Let's get that. Because Israel takes this thing for a joke. We're just entertainment. We're just some Bible nerds, some geeks. But really, this is the only thing that's going to protect you in the days to come. And if you don't have it, it's got to be in you and not on you. Because if you don't have it in you, you damn sure can't keep it on you. Isaiah 55 verse 6, seek ye Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. So the Lord said you have to seek him while he may be found. Because there's going to come a time when he's not going to be able to be found, because his men are going to be hidden. The word is going to be hidden. The way of truth is going to be hidden. And in that day, the land is going to be barren of faith. First Maccabees 1:50. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. Jumping down. Let's jump down. Verse 54. Now the 15th day of the month Caslu, in the 145th year, okay, 145 AD, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. Yeah, and this is when they, dealing with the siege of the temple. And we are the temple now, so they're about to siege this third temple. They're about to make war with the woman. The dragon is about to make war with the woman, because he has to come into the temple and defile the temple again. That's his goal. But this time he's not going to be able to do it. First Maccabees 1:56. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which is the Bible, meaning they ripped it in half, they ripped it in pieces. Verse 56. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire. They burnt the books of the law with fire. And whosoever was found with any book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death. So it's going to come a point in time where if you are preaching this word, number one, you're not going to be able to speak it. And if you're found speaking it, you're going to be put to death. It says Bible downloads banned in China. California bans in-home Bible studies. I just wanted to see what it was going to say. Cheerleaders' religious signs banned. High school girls' Bible verse banners banned.
Texas now, a community there rooting for a high school cheerleading squad in what's turned into a battle over religion and football. The squad has been banned from showing banners of Bible verses during games. Now they're headed to court. ABC's Ryan Owens has the story.
In this small tech,
mind you, this is 8 years ago, dealing with that gradualism.
This town, they worship two things: God and football.
Well, how the hell can you worship two things, God and football? You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon. You want to serve God and football? Really? You worship football? Really? But hey.
So perhaps it only seemed natural the cheerleading squad at Kuntz High School would paint Bible verses on those banners the players run through before every game.
We just wanted to encourage the boys.
But it apparently offended someone. That unidentified person complained to an atheist group that argued the Bible banners amounted to a public school advocating a particular religion, and that's unconstitutional.
It's not a Christian school, and they cannot misuse their authority.
In response, the school superintendent forced them to stop the scriptures. So the cheerleaders put down the pom-poms and picked up the phone, calling an attorney. He argues the banners are not school-sponsored, that the girls came up with the idea by looking at the social networking website Pinterest. They saw cheerleaders in Georgia did the same thing a few years ago. It turns out they were banned by their school, too.
It was so you see, this system is a demonic system. This system is fixed on silencing the words of the Lord. Even if they're coming from the wrong doctrine, they don't want these words to be seen.
Student-led and student-initiated.
So how much more us who actually have the truth, who actually have the doctrine of Yahweh Shai?
This community is now cheering for the cheerleaders. Signs of support are all over town and online. This Facebook page dedicated to their fight now has nearly 50,000 followers. That's 25 times more people than live here. When people say, these people came to a football game, not to church, what do you say?
I mean, they have the right to say whatever they want to say, but I mean, it's our religion and we want to portray that.
So this is what's coming for us, man. They're gonna silence us, man. You know, they're gonna shut down all of the brothers' pages, every last one of them, and we will not be able to make any more. You know, and you people who have loathed the law and misused the prophets, you're gonna regret. You're gonna heavily regret your actions and your nonchalant attitude regarding, you know, this knowledge. Amos 8:11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, the Most High, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. And how are they going to wander from sea to sea? By the internet. By the internet. They're not going to literally run like the Flash from one sea, from the Atlantic Sea to the Pacific Sea. They're going to be in California, and they're going to be searching on the internet for a camp in New York City. They're going to be searching for the apostles in New York City. They're going to be in Europe, and they're going to be searching for a camp in Australia on the internet to seek the words of the Lord. But they shall not find it. They're not going to find it because the door is going to be closed. The famine of the word is going to be officially in place. Okay, and in that day, we're not going to be giving out any more knowledge. You know, that goes into Matthew, the 25th chapter. You know, we're not going to be giving out any more knowledge because the Lord's going to make our tongue to cleave to the roof of our mouth. Just real quick, straight to the point, Matthew 25:8. And the foolish virgin said unto the wise, give us your oil. Give us of your oil, for our lamps are going out. Yeah, these other camps, they have no oil, man. Meaning they don't have the true understanding. They got the basic understanding. They got the milk, but they have no meat. They have no spirit. You know, they're not on fire. It says, but the wise answered, saying, not so. Least there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. Yeah, go to these people that's sold out, man. You know, that's still teaching. Because best believe it's gonna be certain guys that the famine of the word is not gonna hit because they're not the true prophets. Ezekiel 3:26. And I will make thy tongue to cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb. Meaning we're not gonna speak this word. And thou shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. We're not gonna keep correcting you. You know, the time is gonna come when the Lord is gonna say, you know what, that's it. They done heard all the mark of the beast rebuke. Now I'm gonna hide my word. Now you're not gonna be a reprover to them. Your tongue is gonna cleave to the roof of your mouth. You're not gonna give them any oil. Ezekiel 3:27. But when I speak thee, I will open thy mouth. It's like it. But when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord, the Most High. He that heareth, let him hear. He that forbeareth, let him forbear. For they are a rebellious house. So at the end of the day, Jacob's gonna do what they're gonna do. 2 Ezra 5:1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. So the way of truth is about to be hidden, and the land is about to be barren of faith. Okay, 2 Ezra 5:9, straight to the point. And salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber. The Lord's going to hide his men. The Lord's going to hide his men. Verse 10, and shall be sought of many, and yet not found, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinence be multiplied upon the earth. One land also shall ask another, and say, is righteousness that make a man righteous going through thee? And it shall say, no. They're going to be searching and looking for the words of Yahweh Shema Shai, and not find it, right? Because verse 12 says, and at that same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. See, they're going to be hoping, wishing that they come across a man of the Lord. A man will have that GMS doctrine, that has the true understanding that can teach them what's to come, because it's going to be made apparent. It's going to be made known on a wide level, on a high level, that these other camps don't have the truth. And it's going to be made known that the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone do have the truth. And they're going to hope to find a like-minded men of them, but nothing is going to be obtained, because the Lord is going to hide us. 2 Ezra 5:12. At that same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. Lord willing, it's edifying. Brother Yaquam, Kwam Yasharala, Shalom.